Hey, Chris Robinson, welcome to Maxwell Leadership. Today, I'm joined by Jared Cagle. We're going to be jumping in, looking at some videos on talking about what success is and the pursuit of it. We're going to be watching several videos. We're going to be talking about those, and we hope that you find them helpful. Let's go ahead and jump into the videos.
If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful.
Of course, right? Of course, we got to push push past our comfort level. But I also think about it as getting more comfortable, being uncomfortable is about moving your comfort zones higher and higher as you grow. So it's not a bad thing to be. I think about this when it comes to tension or pressure. I want to be more comfortable under pressure. So I have to put myself in environments where I'm under pressure in order to get comfortable. Why do I want to be comfortable? So that I can perform more authentically with less energy that's getting me to say things that I don't mean to say, right? So we do want to be at a place as a leader where we can have a sense of comfort in our own skin, comfort with our position, comfort with our identity, comfort with where we are. It's not a bad thing to kind of find yourself in a comfort zone, if you will, but you got to be moving to the next level. Always looking to that next. Don't be complacent in those seasons or those levels of comfort and stop, because that will stop your growth. But as you're moving from one level of comfort to another, I do think it's important to realize we are trying to get to a place where we're more and more comfortable being uncomfortable with the next challenge.
Yeah, I think a lot of people take this topic and this phrase and thinking out of context. And what I mean by that is they think that, well, when I got to get out of my comfort zone, they have to go and do something completely extreme. They have to do something completely extreme. And I think this is where people mess up because they go and they do something so far extreme out of their comfort zone that they get zapped or smacked by life, and then they come back in and then they're scared to go back out again. And when looking to get outside your comfort zone, all that we're simply saying in this type of talk or this type of request is that, hey, when was the last time you did something for the first time?
Yeah, yeah.
When was the last time you did something for the first time? And then now, what that does is that creates different thoughts. And when you're not going the exact same way to work 7 days in a row, and you can't remember why you got there because you've just been going the exact same way and drifting through life, then now instead of taking a left out of the neighborhood, take a right. And I promise you, you're going to begin to have a different thought. You're going to be able to create different awareness because you're not doing the same things that you've always done. And so you don't have to go to an extreme, but just simply ask yourself the question, when was the last time I did something for the first time?
I want to go a little deeper here. I really like what you were talking about there, Chris. This is where it breaks down for me, right? So we want to leverage our strengths, and we want to hire for our weaknesses or partner with people that can do something better than we can in our weaknesses. And this is kind of a similar thing. It's like, yes, we when's the last time if you've done something for the first time? Yes, we need to push past our comfort zones and be uncomfortable, but we also need to be in our comfort zones, quote unquote, to build our strengths
Right.
because we're more comfortable in our strengths. So how would you break that down for us, Chris, when you're thinking about strengths and weaknesses and how that relates to the comfort zone?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the best way to say it is stay in your strength zone.
Yeah,
I think is the easiest way to say it, but then out of your comfort zone in that strength. So when I go out of my comfort zone in my strength, then I've got a whole lot more dexterity. I've got more
it's good.
things I can do. But when I go out of my comfort zone and something I'm just horrible at in the first place, well, it's not going to get any better outside of a comfort zone. Okay.
Right.
And so, for me, it's just a matter of getting around the right people, retooling and shaping and trying to add value to my strengths And then the weaknesses, hey, I just let those things go. When I'm not good at, I'm not good at, I don't even try. I mean, I just don't even, the effort looks like, oh, is this guy lazy? Is he what? No, I don't even try because that's not where I get it done. You will not see me out in the front yard trying to cut a yard. You will not see me trying to trim up a tree or fix anything around this house. Like it's just
Right.
not gonna happen.
Right. I was
You
gonna
know?
say, there's a reason I'm not a heart surgeon. It's
Right.
like, hey, when's the last time you did something for the first time? People don't want my first time to be cutting on their heart. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hey, they
that's an
want me to cut their yard. I'm telling you,
I know you said
my
yard, but I'm talking about
Lord.
hearts. I took it to another level. I'm just thinking about how we have to stay in line with what we're pursuing too, right?
Yeah.
We have to keep our purpose and our mission intact when we're venturing outside of our comfort zone. I don't want people to think what we're saying when we say get uncomfortable and be comfortable getting more uncomfortable. That don't mean go chase a whole bunch of other endeavors that aren't in line with your strengths and your purpose. We need to be uncomfortable, but we need to do it in our strength zone.
There's three P's that you got to annihilate, crush, or destroy if they're getting in the way of your progress in a relationship or your career or your happiness or your health. These are the three P's that make learned helplessness. Number one, you think the problem is permanent. Once you've had enough disappointment, sometimes your brain doesn't want to get disappointed, so it's a permanent problem. Please write down no problem is permanent, only your soul is permanent. Nothing's forever. Everything changes. Everything eventually ends and something new begins. That's part of life. Those are the seasons of life. The second P that keeps people in learn helplessness so they don't change, this belief's got to be annihilated, broken through, and that it's pervasive. That means that because my relationship's not great, my whole life is horrible. And you're forgetting you do have health, or you do have friends, or you do have a job, or you do have whatever. I can breathe. And the third one is we think the problem is personal. There's something wrong with me. And if you start believing that, it becomes self-fulfilling. You give up. See, I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not smart enough. I always screw it up. So those three P's got to be destroyed.
One thing we have to remember, especially when we're young, is that nothing is forever. No mistake is forever. Failure is not final. These are things like this too shall pass. One of my mentors said the best advice he ever got was when he was 20, 21 years old. One of his leaders said, this too shall pass. If you have that mentality that it feels like forever right now, but this too shall pass. This is all about mindset. What Tony's talking about is all about mindset. The problem's not permanent. It's not pervasive. It's not immersed in everything about your life, and you're not defined by it. And it's most likely not personal, because everybody's going through something. And so, but isn't it true that we take on all of these three things that he's talking about here, and it's more natural to take these on than it is to fight against them. I think we're wired that way. It's just much more natural to go about it that way. But when we flip the paradigm, when we flip the mindset, it changes everything.
Yeah, I think the thing to be careful about in this one too, Jared, is that we're looking at this from a problem standpoint, but I think this is also phenomenal advice from a success standpoint and understanding that success isn't permanent. Just because you won in this particular business or on this particular deal doesn't mean that you're going to win always. It's pervasive, meaning that just because you're successful in one area of life, it doesn't mean that you're successful in all areas of your life. I don't know how many people have a great success, but their home life's a wreck, or their home life is great, but they can't win in business for anything. And then number three, success is not personal. And for me, I had to learn this one the hard way, man. I mean, I started making a good income. I started making a six-figure income at age 21, into the high mid six figures and throughout that. And I thought, from age 21 to 30 that I could do no wrong. You got to keep in mind when you're in that 150, 200 range at 21, 98% of the rooms that you're going to walk into, you're going to be one of the highest earners in the room. And so you begin to believe that and think all of a sudden that, hey, if I did this well, I can go do something else. Well, life course corrected me. when I left out to start my own business and it went wrong, and then the next one went wrong, and the next one went wrong. But guess what? Then that's where I had to flip to that other side of, hey, this failure is not permanent. This problem isn't, just in this area doesn't mean that I'm a failure in the rest of my life. And then, hey, you know what? This failure isn't personal as well either. It's timing. And so looking at both the ups and the downs of success and failure through these lens, I think truly can serve you in both ways.
From now on, whenever you bring on a new person, put them through this exercise. If they will not go through this exercise, do not waste a minute of your time with them, because they will never be successful if they won't follow your guidance. Here's the exercise. Take a clean sheet of paper and write down goals and today's date, and then write down 10 goals that you would like to accomplish in the next 12 months, and write them in the present tense. I earn, I achieve, I weigh, I drive such and such a car, I own. And then you take this list of 10 and you say, if I had a magic wand, and I could wave this magic wand, and I could have any one goal on my list within 24 hours, which one goal would have the greatest positive impact on my life? And usually this will jump out at you. Put a circle around that goal. And that's a goal you transfer to a clean sheet of paper, and then you follow the 7 steps. Write it down, set a deadline, make a list of everything you have to do to accomplish it, organize the list into a checklist, take action, and then do something every day. If you'll just do this, nothing can stop you but yourself.
I would assume a lot of people are listening to that and they're like, oh, well, I mean, how simple can you make it? Like, I mean, they're probably having to rewind, and maybe you're trying to take notes on that. You need to rewind and get the notes down. What he's saying is really good. Let's be honest. He's simplifying it a great deal. But here's what I want to point out with all this. Listen, making a list of 10 things and doing exactly what he said, that's not going to change your life. He made it seem like it. That's not going to change your life. But what I do want to point out about all of this is, like, I had somebody the other day that was trying to lift my lid and make me think bigger and help me organize my priorities and really double down on something that was important. And he said to me, he asked me, he said, if you had $1 million to do this thing that you said you want to do, if you had $1 million today, what would you do? And what would be the risks? Like, what would potentially break about it? And the mentality is, first of all, oh, $1 million. I mean, I could do a lot with $1 million. I could hire some people. I could do those things that I've been trying to do. I could add this, I could add that. There's a lot. And then the quick next thing is, what are the risks? What might break? And he's not asking me that question to get me to come off of the goal that I have or spiral out of control. He's asking me that question so that I can spend that $1 million on the things that might break if I build it to a certain point that's actually there, right? And so I use that as an example to say, man, what a great exercise that Brian Tracy's giving us today. Write these goals down and then focus on one and give it the resources that it needs, and see how that really amplifies and takes you to another level.
Yeah, I mean, I love the simplicity of this, and it really is that simple. It really is that simple when you think about it. But I think a lot of people, I think Jim Rohn said it best. It's simple enough to do, but it's simple enough not to do. To watch this video and dismiss it and go, well, nope, there's got to be something else. Let me keep scrolling. Let me go to the next video. Let me watch the next thing. Let me watch the next thing. What you're going to see is consistency. And, when looking at, these goals, all they're simply doing, all of you do it, but do you do it consistently? Do you get down to the one goal this year and say, okay, everything else is irrelevant, and every single day that ends the day, I'm going to do something to move towards this goal? This is simply an exercise of clarity. And again, an
Yeah.
exercise of being able to focus on a dominant thought that we can put all of our wherewithal in order to move forward. So Brian's absolutely right. Go back, watch these steps that he takes you through. But then now the hard work begins is, are you going to get clear on it? Are you going to actually do something about it? And are you going to do something about it every single day that ends in day?
It's so good. Nothing's going to change until you act on it. That's the whole point. And clarity, I think we underestimate the power of clarity. as leaders, we've got to give our people clarity. We also have to give ourselves clarity. And that's what this exercise helps us with as well, is getting our mind clear on what needs to be the focus, what needs to be the priority, where the resources need to go. And if you act on that, right, that's where I'm trying to go. When I listen to something like this first, I say, wow, he's making that really simple. There's no way that it could be that simple. And I'm taking notes on it. And I'm like, okay, I need to apply this. I need to apply this. But as you said, Chris, if it's just as simple to do, it's just as simple not to do. What's going to change your life is actually taking action on these simple things.
Consistency doesn't guarantee that you'll be successful, but not being consistent will guarantee that you won't reach success. An easy productivity hack: instead of spending time getting in the mood to work, just start working. Confront the work. People think they need perfect conditions to start, when in reality, starting is the perfect condition.
Yeah, I mean, again, what he's saying here is you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And it's the mantra that I teach that is just real simple. It's learn a little bit, then go do a little bit. It's watch one of these videos and then go do something. But if you all you want to do is learn, 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 and you never take action, don't move any closer. So it's about getting out there, taking action, getting a result, because then when you have a result, you can tweak a result. When you have a result, you can tweak a result. But if you don't have a result because you haven't done anything, well, there's no one that can come and help you. There's no one that can come and guide you. Why? Because you've got no results in hand. And so get out there, do something. Do something.
This reminds me of when I was younger playing Little League baseball, and my coach was teaching me to pick my bounce. What that means is you got a ground ball coming and you're watching it and you're seeing what type of, and when you see that bounce you like, jump to it, accelerate to it and grab that bounce. Don't wait for it to come to you and then take a funny bounce and then react to that bounce. Try to be proactive enough to pick your bounce. It's all about creating the conditions that you need. And without trying to get all in the sky right here, the truth is, to be successful, you have to get started. He's exactly right. And when you move and when you try, even when you fail, you're going to see that you're creating the conditions that you need in order to be successful. But if you wait on that ball to get all the way to you and you become reactive, or you wait on the conditions to be just right and you get reactive to that, the probability of being successful goes way, way, way down. And by the way, in my experience, there's really no big success without failure. And so go ahead and start failing. Go ahead and start moving. Go ahead and start learning on your way to success, and it will create the conditions that you need.